What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky Itty Bitty Transformers Committee review, we have something new from NewAge, and it is their what is the number? I don't remember. But either way, it's their Air Guardian JETFIRE. I think it's FIREFOX. FIREFOX, yeah. Air Guardian FIREFOX. So right there. And it is a G1 SKYFIRE and or JETFIRE, depending on how you want to look at it. Fantastic artwork right here on the front, though. Like, it doesn't even feel like a G1 type box or a Diaclone box, because of course there was no G1 JETFIRE that looked like this, so there's no box that looks like this. But you know, they did what they could. But it looks really cool. Hold on, it says right here: robot height is 18 centimeters. Chest has turning mechanisms of 3 sides. Alloys are used in many parts of the robot. Yes, die cast. That's a thing. So if you come to the top, repeat of the box art: legendary heroes, Air Guardian FIREFOX, standard grade. I did get mine at BBTS. You can get yours wherever somebody has it. All right, legendary heroes, jet mode, bot mode. Looks really good. Come to the back, and they have him flinging Megatron, which is pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. It's just a cool pose. And you got NewAge, ages 15 plus. Hey, right in the middle of that. Box art by those guys. And 2022, made in China. Pretty cool. Come to this side, you got that. Come to the bottom, you got that. And that's pretty much it for the box. It is huge. Look at this box. Like, this is not a Legacy or Legends scale figure. This is a Voyager. Like, that's the insane part. This is like new, like, mainline Voyager size box. This is crazy. So either way, let's get him out here. All right, guys. So here we have SKYFIRE, good to go. And of course, he does come with his instrucciones. My knee hurts really bad right now, guys. For those who don't know, I had an accident on New Year's Day, and really banged up both my knees. So it's actually kind of painful to sit here and do this. So either way, the instructions are pretty good. I didn't follow them, if I'm honest with you. I did figure things out for myself in the out the box video that I do for every Transformers figure I get. And if you want to see those things, become a member. You can check that out. So either way, good God. So there we go. We've got JETFIRE in his ridiculous jet mode. And I also forgot to point out the accessory he comes with is just his gun. Gray plastic, nothing crazy going on here, just 2-piece construction. And you can actually use it in vehicle mode by just inserting into the hole under there. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's always nice to have quote-unquote storage and or use of the weapons when in alt mode. So that's always good. Gotta love that. That's pretty dang awesome. I'm going to take that off for the purposes of the review, though. And that's actually like a 5mm pack, which is crazy. Like, this guy's so big, he needs a 5mm port. This is just a fantastic representation of G1 JETFIRE. I mean, look at this. You got really beautiful, like, gunmetal paint back here. You got blue metallic paint, white plastic, unfortunately. More white paint there. Red stripy paint going down the wing. More gunmetal here. Red plastic, I think, or red painted plastic there. More red paint under here. Blue paint. You got some die-cast parts sticking out there. You do got some landing gear, which is always fun. Get your landing gear there. It would be nice if he had some type of stand mount, because, of course, you know, there are stands, technically speaking, if you have any of the Seekers that came with those flight stands. Would be nice to be able to use this with that. I got a little gunk there. My bad. Oh, by the way, he does have the translucent cockpit that does open, which is pretty awesome, with gunmetal painted seats, gunmetal vents there. The only thing that kind of sucks is this gap right there. It's like they just couldn't figure out what to do with it, unfortunately. So it does look really cool, though. Definitely is not going to scale in jet mode, whereas, you know, you could have Transformers riding around inside him in a way. So there are little finicky parts where, like, these things keep knocking loose. This piece down here keeps knocking loose a little bit, but still pretty cool. One thing that's interesting, due to transformation, you technically get working flaps, so that's fun. And you can also pose pose those top aileron, I guess. I don't know, fins, whatever you want to call them. You can pose those. The only thing that sucks is because they painted these things over red plastic. You had to really thick coat the white stuff there. On camera, it doesn't look too bad, but to me eyes, I'm actually going to darken it up just a little bit so you can see that. So that's the part that kind of sucks, is I wish they would just fully paint the whole thing. Just get all of the whites to match. Realistically, it would be cool. And honestly, I didn't even need a translucent cockpit there, or windscreen, because this isn't translucent. This is painted. So you could have painted that and I would have been perfectly happy. So because he is in flight mode, let me go grab a seeker so we can see the difference here. Maybe I can grab a Starscream even. I think. Maybe I can. Okay, so didn't have a Starscream in jet mode, but I do have a Sunstorm. So you can see there, I think the jet mode is probably pretty close. I mean, like, the alt modes are always a bit wonky. I mean, JETFIRE was meant to be completely massive. And of course, being an old friend of Starscream's, you know, once he returns, you know, reawakens, you know, you actually get a scene of them flying together, which is always fun, you know. So, getting that out of here. For just another size reference, because I have these things on the desk right now from previous reviews. There he is next to Prime's trailer, so with a big old beard hair there. So next to Prime's trailer, I mean, that's what that looks like. Man, it just feels like the lights are not hitting like they should. And I had to darken the camera because everything's white, so either way. So, I mean, he's sizable. You know, he's longer. He's probably longer than Prime in truck mode with the trailer. So, that's a good size jet figure, as you do. And by the way, guys, if you want to see how to get him into jet mode, by all means, go watch the Taro video where I transform them to their alt mode. I do that with a lot of guys, or almost every transformer, I should say. Okay, so let's do the transformation. I'm going to have to move the camera ever so slightly here because I need room to work because he is a big old bot. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to pull down on the knees a little bit here, and then you're going to rock the legs kind of backwards and out like so. So I love that they have die-cast thrusters here and that these cover it. So there's your robot legs coming down and into position. You can utilize the hips to sort of move them down, and we're going to go ahead and get the legs sorted while we're here. So there's a peg holding them together, and all of this needs to fold up and go inside that leg. But you have to double rocker this up, plug it into there, and then this is connected to the bottom of the foot via that little post right there. Go ahead and fold that out of the way, straighten out the foot, rotate that in, that'll lock into there, collapse your foot however you need to, and I need the heel spur, but I can't get it. Where did my spudger go? It's over here under a whole bunch of other robots. So come on out of there, buddy. And so here you go, you can get a heel spur. Now there's two parts to that, kind of. So if you fold this little plastic piece up, that heel spur will sit flat. If not, you get a little bit of support. So that's up to you. And then you want to push this up and collapse it down like so, and then that will do that. Now we'll do the same thing over here. Push the knee up, lock into place. There's a tab right there that is meeting up into that spot, and that tab is also on kind of a weird rotating joint. So there's things to do in there. So let's get this foot out of the way, rotate down, flip that in, flip this around. See here, can we get it? Okay, so you can get it with a fingernail, just be careful so you don't hurt yourself. Get it in there, and then collapse the foot up in there, heel spur out. Now, I will say that this guy sort of will do the Gerwalk mode, and I believe you technically want to fold the nose in for that. So this is probably not fully realized. I think there's probably some more steps to it in theory, but you can sort of do the kind of Robotech Gerwalk mode like you can pretty much with all the Seekers and stuff too. So there's that, but maybe the legs are supposed to be turned around for that. I don't know. Kind of a, chicken legs. Either way, you can play around with that if you want to. Now we have to do the backpack. So this guy kind of works in 3 pieces. So you have the leg section here, and then you'll have this section up here that we'll see a bit more once we get the backpack split open. So this side over here, by the way, there's kind of a secret door thing hidden here, a little texture door. This is the side that splits away like so, and then this side over here will collapse into itself. So we want to be able to open that, and then you get the head reveal. Hello. And you got the arms in here, which you can just sort of get up and out of your way for right now, because we have to free up this backpack. So we have these red pieces here that need to come out and around. So the backpack, if I can show you here, you see there's a couple hinges and a couple slide parts here. Go ahead and fold the wings just to make your life easy. And you can pull that out. So these parts came out from underneath there, but they still serve a purpose. So we actually need to flip that up and flip that up. And then we're going to come around to here, and this will untab, fold that under, and double rocker that under like so. Try to make sure that is straight as possible, or else it'll get a little wonky. And then we want to bring this in. I didn't mess with the wings, but need to fold down the flaps, fold in the wingtips, and then we're going to slide the backpack together, and then now all those tabs will line up, making a skinny version of the backpack. Go ahead and fold those flat, come up here, and tuck that inside there. All right, so now we need to split the arms open, get the head up. It's on its own little rocker. The backpack is not in its final resting place just yet, because we got to do the rest of this. So we want that splayed open like a turkey. Don't ask why I was thinking turkey. So untab this whole section, and that will collapse to there. And then like so, go ahead and untab these vents here on the side, and you can fold those up and in. And then what we're going to do here, this accordion's open, and this will flip down and in. And then you can close this, and you got tab there, slot there, just kind of accordion that in like so. Close this little flap. Now we come back here, grab the entire back section, and actually there's a tab inside this front section here that the arm panels will tab into. So you need to basically do that. And I was like, come at me, bro. All right, go ahead and straighten out the legs, since we had that all wonky from a minute ago. Come down to the arms. Need to straighten that bit out. Come down here, flip that open, flip out the hand, close it up, rotate, straighten that up, open that, flip out the hand, close all that, and then come to the backpack, and there's just a couple posts right there that will line up. Push that in, and now the backpack is sort of plugged in, and actually we are done with putting big old Jetfire boy here into robot mode. Good Lord, he's a big one. I'm going to take a break, and we'll come right back. Okay, so just real quick, we'll go ahead and give him his little twin barrel gun. And you see here there's a slot on the grip and inside the hand. Even though the fingers do open, which you don't need, the gun actually just slides in the hand like so. Now, the only unfortunate thing is you do have a trigger area right there, but it does not allow you to like hook a finger. So he doesn't hold it perfectly, but it's pretty stable. I mean, like, you'd have to really rock it around to really make a deal. And since we're here, we do a bicep swivel and technically a double jointed elbow, because it does rotate here and then it rotates there. So decent range of motion as that goes. And then, of course, come up to the head sculpt, which is on the money for JETFIRE. Like, look at that. He definitely has that astronaut little cap thing going on. Face looks really good. I love the light gray next to the dark gray next to the white, and then you got the silver with the blue here, and then the light blue eyes. Love that. How this guy was ever a Decepticon, no clue. All right, so, and it is on a hinge with a swivel, which is pretty different, but works so well. It can't do like a side-to-side movement, but it is what it is. With the arm joints, you got a decent elbow. It does kind of move here and there, sort of pivots in a couple different spots, can rotate. Of course, the wings are in the way. The shoulder armor flip-flops a little bit, so just kind of set that however you want. I think that's technically how you want it to be, but it's all good. The hands do rotate along with the bicep, in case you're wondering. Can rotate the hands as well. No non-replaceable hands, so you don't have swap out hands on this guy. Let's see here. Do we have an ab crunch? We do have a good ab crunch that does clear that a little bit. And the fun thing is, that's actually a die-cast piece there. He does rotate fine. I mean, the backpack will hit a little bit around about the hips, so just watch out. You do have the painted sections there in the hips. So here's the one part that I found really cool when I did the out the box. So while he has the side skirts there, so he can come straight out like that, the hinge is very, very different. Because, as you can see here, it rotates inside here. The side skirt isn't part of the torso. It's actually part of the hip rotation joint. That is crazy. Love that. It's silly, but I like it. You can go back, but he hits the thing. You can kick really far forward for a good chorus line, giving us a double jointed knee for a super deep knee bend. Gotta love all of that. Of course, thigh rotation, exposing some screws, and some nice detail work on the inside, along with a big old hole. That's got a hole. Now, unfortunately, the ankle is just essentially that, but because you can drop it down a little bit, you can get some like extreme kind of step poses, like so. Instead of, you don't have a toe pivot, but you can pivot the ankle very nicely there. And then I guess in theory, if you have this out, you know, that gives you a little bit more of a heel spur to kind of sit a little taller, a little further forward if you're down for that kind of thing, like so. So he has like a real heel spur, so he's not sitting flat-footed, you know. So that's up to you on whether or not you want to use that or not. Like I said, it does change the angle of things, so it's a little different. It does feel a little less planted that way, if I'm honest with you, but still pretty dang good for such a huge bot. Also, I didn't realize I was zoomed in, so you probably didn't see everything I was talking about. But either way, let's do comparison to this big old boy. So first and foremost, I think we'll bring in Optimus. So that's a DX9, not DX9. That's the NewAge David, literally half as tall. He comes up to the crotch. So that's pretty crazy. And then, of course, from last time, we've got Ultra Magnus. And then, roughly in that same size class, we have our Grimlock boy. Our big old dino Grimlock friend. I got to push back a little bit there. And bring in Emperor Starscream. This is the Starscream 1.0 from NewAge. I know they have the 1.5 out. Considering it. I know there's only a few mold differences, but I am considering it because this one is a little worn out and also totally has the problem standing. So there's your size difference to Starscream. I don't know how accurate that is, but I know Starscream is definitely too short compared to Prime. So that's an issue. Also, I totally hate this cape, but it's for gimmick, damn it. And then Cyclonus for another decent sized bot, comes up a little past the crotch. So he is a good sized boy. In fact, I'll bring out the biggest thing that NewAge has given us so far. And I'm saying so far because today they dropped their new biggest thing. So there's JETFIRE next to Devastator. I guess that feels kind of accurate. Also looks pretty damn cool, if I'm honest. But yes, in case you somehow missed it, I'll put it here on the screen. NewAge today, as of filming this, dropped their images of their Omega Supreme. Why they're making a Legend Scale Omega Supreme, I don't know, but he's kind of cool, so I can't fault him. So let's get this guy out of here. All right. And he does actually have the flipping emblem gimmick. So this is actually the flat panel. So realistically, if you wanted to leave a blank panel, that would be the one to leave, say like for jet mode. I just put a slightly larger repro label. That's just a universal G1 style sticker. I think it might even be a tune sticker, realistically. But it's just a repro label, universal legend scale piece. Nothing too crazy there. But if you come in here with a fingernail, you can flip it and make him a Decepticon. Or an Autobot, again. Smaller Autobot logo. So in theory, like I would use that in this mode and use the other one in jet mode, but either way, I could go either way. The fact that they didn't just leave it flat the whole time, I don't know why they didn't do that. They should. I think they could have, but I love that it's a three-sided, so you can have blank and then your faction logos, which is actually pretty cool. One thing will be interesting, because they do have a shattered glass version of him, is like, did the shattered glass version also switch sides, or no? Or was he just an evil Autobot the whole time? I don't know. That's why I'm asking these questions. I wonder, do I have anything else nearby? I mean, I put away all my action figures and stuff, so I don't have anything near the desk to compare him to. But he's basically, you know, he's the size, he's roughly a 7-inch, almost 8-inch figure. I mean, this is a huge, huge Legend scale. I mean, Legend scale is supposed to be small. And while technically he is small, he's freaking huge. He's huge, even. You know, as one reviewer would say, he's huge. I was going to bring in the Siege JETFIRE to compare him to, but I don't think it's a fair comparison. They don't serve the same things, and they're not even in the same price class. This guy is expensive. And then once again, I got mine from BBTS. It was slightly cheaper than other places. If you really want to save money, the overseas market is the way to go, but you do, of course, have the weight, but you might get that anyways with getting it from a U.S. retailer. A couple of retailers here between TF Source and Chosen Prime tend to get them fairly quickly. So, I mean, if you don't care about the cost that much, but you want to get it sooner, sometimes the American retailer is the way to go. If you don't care about waiting and then saving a few bucks, which, given the size of these things, and they're only getting more expensive, because remember, Grimlock here was over $100 by himself, and he's only not even quite 2/3 the size of this one, and that one is, you know, quote-unquote affordable. But I mean, even Ultra Magnus here, who is significantly smaller, but technically 2 bots in one, is more price effective than this, but this is still huge. The part count is still pretty big. The articulation is really good. The paintwork is really, really nicely done. The use of translucent, didn't have to do that, but it looks good. Anyways, the transformation is fun, pretty intuitive. I only had to figure out a couple things specifically. And I never looked at the instructions, really. I think there was one small thing I needed to figure out, and that was how the legs transformed. And that was just mostly, like, I couldn't figure out how to separate certain parts. But I figured it out pretty quick. But, like, he's just really good. I can only see a couple trouble spots, and that will be back here where that plugs into the backpack. If you squeeze it at all, it's going to come off. These panels right here are very troublesome. They like to pop out for the same thing. I can see potentially any of this stuff scraping fairly easy. There's even a really crappy little paint nick right there, because of course painting white over anything that's not white is going to result in really thick paint, and that just, it's unavoidable. Just is what it is. I wish they had done the ankles just a little bit differently. Just that quick, quick little side pivot there. It makes it a little awkward. Like, you can get them to stand flat, but it is a little awkward. It's almost easier to stand on a side foot. Not having swap out hands, that might be one of the weirdest things that they've done with this guy, because that's like been their gimmick for a while, is all the swap out hands. Like, I like the idea that he doesn't have them, but he also has these crazy typewriter fingers, and he doesn't even have to open his hands at all. So there's no reason to have the hinge there. They could have molded it as a solid piece. I mean, it's not that much bigger. I say this, hold on. How much bigger is it than, say, Ultra Magnus's hands? Realistically, not that much bigger. Definitely bigger than Cyclonus. Bigger than Grimlock here. And Grimlock still uses the 3 mil peg. This is almost a 5 mil, if it isn't actually a 5 mil. So, I don't know. Anyway, I think it's definitely one of the best figures I picked up in 2022, even though it was literally the very, very end of 2022 when I finally got him, like right at Christmas. But he's still really good. If you love Jetfire, I think this is the way to go. Magic Square has theirs out, if not coming very soon. I looked at it. I don't think it looks as good, but that's my opinion. If you like Magic Square, you win. If you like NewAge, you win. If you like whatever other third-party companies are making Legends, you also win. So, but anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this review. Of course, leave me a like and subscribe if you want to, because I do this quite often. I'm going to be catching up on all my Transformers reviews and some other stuff before I get back to building. So if you are waiting on the next Gundam build, it's going to be a bit, so apologies. I forgot the other thing I was going to say. Oh, Taro video. If you want to see how to transform back to jet mode, by all means, watch the Taro video, which will be linked at the end of this one if you didn't see it already. So, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, as always, keep on flying.